Greetings and salutations, viewer. It is I, Eric J. Chucky, joined as always by the boy.
Hello.
This is the Two Nerds podcast, and today we debut a new format, which you can see if you are using your eyeballs in addition to your earballs.
And if you were only using your earballs, you will see the differences pretty soon.
Yeah, even still. We just decided it was time for a change. Usually I like to do these things at the beginning of the year or something, but honestly, that's kind of arbitrary. Why not do it now? So let's get right into our new format. We do have to, as always, start with what's crumpin'. My guy, what's crumpin' with you?
I just mowed the lawn to loop it back into a thing you'll see in, a couple months?
A month or so, yeah.
And been looking forward to getting into some more, I've been in a lull of absorbing new content, like watching stuff and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I want to see the next season of Daredevil Born Again, but I'm looking forward to catching it soon. I want to start it soon. Been really enjoying Critical Role. The most recent Table is a little slower, so I'm not consuming the episodes as fast, but I am still having a great time. You?
I dropped that shit. First of all, it is not what I was promised. I was told it would be a West Marches campaign, and It
is.
But assuming that each session of a West Marches campaign takes 24 real-life human hours.
Instead of doing one episode for each table, they're doing arcs. Like one arc with each table, and that's not nearly as varied as was initially offered. It was like I won't say they said it would be like that, but that was the assumption, and that's maybe on us. I do think it would be better if they just because they batch record the episodes. It's not like it's going to affect the players.
No, it's what a West Marches campaign is. I would have made the stopping points more. Not modular, but spaced out, more specific. You've reached this destination.
I would have kept roughly in timeline.
Yes, that's what I meant. Thank you for phrasing that better. I tried Hades 2, and it didn't hit like Hades did. That was pretty disappointing. And I watched Hoppers, the Disney movie Hoppers, last night. It was fun, chaotic. It had a good message. And I liked the characters. I had a good time with it.
All right.
That's the crump, my guy. I do want to field one question here. If we are PNG tubers now, and I don't believe we technically are because our mouths aren't moving, why aren't our mouths moving? And that is because we use the same mic. I would have to hand animate our mouths moving.
Or we would have to change to a very different, much more expensive setup that would take a lot more room. And I don't know if you guys know this. We don't have a studio. No. This is our house. And I need that room for doing stuff.
Even if we went to different computers, we would still pick up on each other's mics.
We are pretty close. We're best friends. We live in the same house. We are, I believe, what we determine exactly 6 feet apart where we sit.
It's 12 feet.
12 feet, excuse me.
That's not going to be happening. I might be adding new stuff to the background as time goes on. But, yes. Before we go on to the bulk of this show, I do want to remind you guys, we have a Discord where you can come and chat. Everything's in the link tree in the description, including my books you could buy. I write books. They're pretty good. You could buy them, and then I would get to eat food. We also have a Patreon in the Eat Food vein. You get gameplay videos a week early. You get Violent Profiles a month early. Those are only monthly episodes, so it's not as exciting. There are exclusive videos on there, a bunch of our old stuff, a bunch of gameplay stuff that I just didn't feel was fit to post.
Yeah, go watch when we used to be super cringe. Come to our Discord. Tell us how cringe we were. We'll agree.
I've also got tabletop RPGs that I've made, Wizards and Whites and Jalapunk. You can get in on those. And you can even request podcast topics. That's not going away. It's just kind of shifting the way we present it. And video games for us to play at the channel at various different tiers. Check all that out. So next up... we get to talk about nerd shit. This is the Two Nerds podcast. What a novel fucking idea.
We have been in a relaxed mode, a resting, regaining our power level. But it's time to get back into the game. It's time to get back into actually talking about what's going on in the world.
Yeah, well, with E3 going down,
It really was like the death of an era.
Yeah, and we just didn't know how to approach it. Comic-Con the last couple of years has been a little weird. Maybe we just haven't cared enough. The MCU has taken a back seat. We're not really news reporters. We're still not news reporters. These are editorial observations on recent events.
Yeah, never come to us for breaking news. One, we only put out one episode a week. And two, you're going to be disappointed.
So first of all, I thought this was very interesting. In case you guys didn't know, there is an Elden Ring movie at A24 being made, and they have revealed the full cast. They're shooting for a 2028 release date.
So they've got plenty of time. What is it, in pre-production?
I reckon, yeah. Well, they've got a cast, so they might be doing voiceovers. I'm not 100% sure on that. But I don't know most of these people.
That's actually good. I don't want the Elden Ring movie to be like, Tom Cruise as Gideon Ofnir and Jason Momoa as Vike. I don't want that.
So there are some people I do know, however, and maybe you guys know all of them. You can look at the news yourself. We get Jonathan Pryce. I thought he was dead.
I don't know who that is by name.
Jonathan Pryce, I'm 99% sure. I'm going to do a Google right now. Here we go. I'm a Googling.
That's the High Sparrow. Okay.
Yeah, that's the dad from Pirates of the Caribbean. I love him. I thought he was no longer with us. And Nick Offerman.
Who is Nick Offerman in the Elden Ring movie? Is that Gideon Ofnir?
Is he Horaloo? Is that how that...
God, just absolute no CGI, just shirtless Nick Offerman.
You want me to do the line? Is this say the line part?
Please.
I've shown thee courtesy enough.
Yay!
So that's kind of fun. I'm excited to see where that goes. Speaking of FromSoft properties, Jacksepticeye of YouTube fame is making an animated Bloodborne movie.
Yeah, I mean, if it worked for Markiplier, I guess. I'm happy for Jacksepticeye. Every video I've ever seen of his, I've never been like a huge fan, but they've all been entertaining.
No, I mostly like him and other people's stuff. I think his specific mood, personality, really lends well to group content.
And more to the point, he loves Bloodborne, as I understand it. There's a personal passion project. I like passion projects. I like it when people like the source material, because it often leads to a better adaptation. Even if they change things, you can tell when someone doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, absolutely. And that actually leads into another story we had. There was a claim a while ago that the Mass Effect show was being rewritten for non-gamers, which we all despaired over. One of the people involved with the show, let me get their exact position here, that is Daniel Casey, one of the show's writers, who is also responsible for Fast and Furious 9, if you're into that kind of thing, said that he didn't know what the hell who said that, where that came from, because it's not a thing. So that's nice that Mass Effect is still being portrayed for the people who played Mass Effect.
Yeah, and I mean, what's a non-gamer audience? It's 2026.
Yeah, at this point, we really want
everyone who's gonna see the Mass Effect movie plays video games.
My mom is in her 60s and plays video games. My stepmother is in her 70s and plays video games.
Really, it's everybody. We've reached saturation.
Yeah.
You don't need to do that.
I thought this was pretty cool, and you'll see visuals on our little visual screen here. Movie's
going back to editing the podcast.
I know, it's the curse. I've really minimalized what I need to do, thankfully. The new Legend of Zelda movie that we're getting, we saw a new look at Link. This is so wild in the first place, but I wasn't sure, but then they showed off this director slate thingy, the clapper. And I don't know why it says umami on it. I don't like that. I hate that word, but goddamn, that looks like Link Legend of Zelda.
It literally does say umami on it. That's unfortunate. I don't understand that. But yeah, I mean, so I don't understand a Legend of Zelda movie.
I do if it's like and I always talk about this on the show, the Castlevania movie I pitched ages ago, where it was after Jason Momoa did Conan. I thought it would be cool to have a movie where he is Simon Belmont, he goes through Castlevania, and it's like he doesn't have dialogue until maybe he gets to Dracula. It's otherwise just him grunting and fighting cool monsters.
That is cool as hell. That no one's making that movie.
No, and that's not what they're doing for Legend of Zelda either. But to answer that question, if I had the reins there, that's absolutely what I'd do. It'd be Homeboy fighting Octoroks and going, ha! Hia! Hia!
I will go see this because I'm very curious, but I just don't understand. I mean, mute protagonists have been a thing before, but there's not much to Link.
No.
I mean, most of his character traits are fanon.
Well, and the last time we had a Link with a personality, he was a real douchebag.
If he, you know what? I don't care about how the line read is. If we get one, excuse me, princess, all is forgiven. I'm down, 50 million.
Our final news reaction of the day. Saw this last minute.
Jesus.
Clash of Clans. A game neither of us play.
Or have ever played, or have any interest in playing.
I might have tried it once and then went, oh, this isn't for me. They added a foot tribute bundle. Which is what you think it is. I think it's $15.
I believe there's a character who was already shoeless.
Theoretically.
And thus, she had developed a following because the internet is full of degenerates. And so Clash of Clans went, well, I could have some of that money. And
I love how Overwatch and Marvel Rivals and similar games, League of Legends, quietly go, here's jungle skin for so-and-so. Buy it if you want. Oh, it's a pool party skin. You know, we just love summertime. Whereas Clash of Clans is like, y'all into feet?
Here you go!
Give me that feet money!
They call it a foot tribute bundle. Pay this money to jack off to these feet.
I feel like that's difficult to do in the middle of a game of Clash of Clans, but...
I don't know, maybe it is. It doesn't seem like it's a terribly challenging game.
You know what? I have no frame of reference. That's it for the nerd news we have to react to. It wasn't much this week. We have a major focus, so we're going to be spending a little more time talking about that. And also, I only started collecting news articles last night. So, you ready?
Yeah, let's
ready
do
to
it.
Get into it?
Let's do it.
Do you want to do it?
Let's do it.
Wrestling. We have covered this on other podcasts. You may notice it has been 2 months now without an AEW pay-per-view podcast. We usually do them every time one comes out. It's been 2 months now where that hasn't. Would you like to explain to the viewer why?
We stopped watching AEW.
And why that happened. 11 years in this fucking guy.
I am a demon. And a robot. Both are true. So here's the thing, right? What had happened was, Hangman Adam Page, Cody Rhodes'd himself. And well, he had signed himself up, at no one's urging, for no reason, to the worst stipulation possible. That is, if you aren't familiar with the joke, if I don't win the title in this match, I will never challenge for the title again. I already hate that stipulation. It's pointless. It either makes you an idiot or a fraud, whether if you lose. And it just serves to restrict storytelling in a way that is not fun or interesting. We reached the day where the event was to occur, and at the urging of a friend who doesn't really watch wrestling but was over for other reasons hanging out and heard us talking about how much we were all dreading watching the show, we realized, none of us are having fun anymore.
Yeah. It's been several years for me that watching AEW has been really rough. Basically, after the end of MJF's big title reign, and not because of that, but that was just the marker, it started going downhill. And then Penta left, and it went even further downhill, and it's just, not really recovered since. There have been a couple of bright spots, and there's certainly the quality of the action I don't think has gone anywhere. I think it's still a very...
Yeah, it's still the best, like, major wrestling promotion in the world.
In terms of, like, actual, work rate.
Work rate and storytelling and all that. It's just... For me, it's been even a couple months before that had happened. I can absolutely nail it down. It's when the Death Riders fully stopped making sense. And what I had been... the internet had assured me, and I had assured myself, this was my fault, it was copium, was long-term storytelling, what AEW loves to do, with Jon Moxley, was just not true, and he was just a face now, and fucking don't think about it. That was the last straw. It was the last... I just stopped... It broke my ability to trust the product, and as we see from WWE, if I can't trust you, my investment goes down. It went down to the point where all I really had left was MJF and Hanger. And then they ruined that storyline. And it was enough.
So we didn't watch it to avoid the backlash. We both had, we I wouldn't say came around on it, but found a place to accept it. Even if we didn't want to watch it directly. And then they made it look like Ronda Rousey was going to be joining the Fed in a major angle. And I took my leave. And the fact that one woman showing up in what was definitely going to be, if anything, a part-time angle, was enough for me to walk away, really said something about where I had been with the quality of the show lately. Now, I know a lot of people who love it, who are really still watching and really into it and like, some of the stuff that's going on, if not most of the stuff that's going on. That's just not been me for a long time. And I think we discovered in what we replaced our weekly AEW watching with, why.
Yeah, I believe it was your idea.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you were the only one who was aware this existed, I'll be perfectly frank, of the people who live in this house. We began watching Evil Uno Presents Mystery Wrestling from episode 1.
We were going to try a bunch of stuff, and we were just starting with Mystery Wrestling.
And then we liked it so much, we were like, no, let's just watch this.
Yeah. So it's old. It started not too long, like the video archive started not too long before CM Punk left, to the point that they had a big bit about it on the 3rd episode, I think. It's
around about that time.
Yeah.
And, but it's fun. And I think maybe AEW forgot what it's like to have fun.
And for me, that's a lot. I was a Chikara fan, and that was goofy as shit. And there's a certain amount of tongue-in-cheek I like in my wrestling. Not exclusively. I've liked plenty of guys that are cool. Penta's not like a goofball. He was cool as hell, and he really brought me into the product. But like, the personalities have just diminished. Everybody's either a jackass or a gritty hero, and except for Orange Cassidy.
Orange Cassidy, I love you, brother, but you're not strong enough to hold the whole Fed up on your back.
Well, and he's even gone so far from where he used to be that now he's like a reluctant hero.
Yeah, honestly, when he showed up in Mystery Wrestling and it was regular flavor Orange Cassidy, I was like, oh my god, that is what I did like this. And I just... AEW forgot to have fun. The current AEW would never have Hanger show up dressed as the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
No.
Him dressing as Tony Khan was the last time anyone was allowed to have fun.
It was Shivani, but yes,
Tony Schiavone.
That was a big highlight for me personally. I thought that was hilarious, especially because I called it, like, sarcastically. Like, wouldn't it be funny if? And then it was, and I was right, it was funny. But we still care about AEW, and I think there will be a point at which we return to watching.
I'm fully planning on watching All In.
That's like the last. That's probably going to be a return, regardless.
Like if we don't hop back in at any time before All In at Wembley, I'm watching All In. If this becomes like I was with WWE for many years, where I'm here for WrestleMania and not much else, then that can be what it is. But I'm watching that show. I've already pre-decided.
I suppose I was going to say, I had thought that Toni Storm's still around, and she's usually kind of funny, but no, she's not, because Ronda Rousey killed her.
Yeah, Ronda Rousey, it wasn't like an immediate, well, I'm fucking done here. But when Ronda Rousey killed Toni Storm and she went away, that was okay, I don't need to come back. The one last fun person is gone.
Yeah. It seems like an interesting storyline, who killed Toni Storm, and it's a big mystery surrounding it. I'm sure it'll be fun to play out, especially when she returns. And Ronda Rousey, notably, was just there for one night as a cross-promotional thing.
Just to say fuck you to the WWE, which is a valid and good thing to do. Congrats, Ronda. You've done at least one of those.
Before we move on to other coverage, would you like to say anything about mystery wrestling in specific that has stood out to you? Any individual wrestlers, any concepts?
A few things. One, I have added a person to a very exclusive club. Until I started watching mystery wrestling, I had a thing that I've said in our Discord many times. There is one human being on the planet who can do a ripcord move and not make it look like a jackass is doing it. No one does it right. It always looks fake and stupid and weak and not impactful. Kazuchika Okada is the only person on Earth who knows how to do it right. I don't know what secret sauce he has. I don't know what he's doing different. It just looks good when he does it and bad when everyone else does. One more person got added to that list. The people on Earth who can do a ripcord move and it looks good are Okada and Psycho Mike from Mystery Wrestling.
From the indies in general, man, he's a lot of fun. Psycho Mike matches have really become a highlight. He's a
strong regular in these episodes that we've watched, the first few. That's always funny. It's always good. It's always, and when they're not doing the bits and they do wrestling, he's also a good wrestler. I'm not joking. He does a good ripcord move. There's 2 people on Earth who do that.
I would agree about that. I was enamored to see that Evil Uno, my good twin brother, finally got to do a stipulation I've been wanting to do since my old e-fetting days, the Falls Count Somewhere match.
And it was everything we hoped it
was. It was beautiful. The fall counts somewhere in the arena. Only the referee knows where. They pulled some good bits with it. It was quite exciting. Anything else you'd like to shout out?
I love the gimmick of mystery wrestling. So much so that even though on the old episodes we're watching, it has like a thumbnail where you can see some stuff, and some of the people who appear are, they're listed in the name. I just don't really look at that stuff. Because I like the surprise, and I like that it's intended to be like, nobody knows. I like that the show always opens with 4 druids revealing who they are, and then they have a fatal 4-way match. That's a fun first thing to do.
I like the whole gimmick of Evil Uno not having enough money to run the Fed, which I'm sure is partially not a gimmick, but he really leans on it, and that's pretty funny. Overall, it's a good watch. I'd recommend you check it out. I don't think we're ever going to be covering it, because unless we somehow get current, we'll see, I guess. But
they don't do weekly events, so
no,
we'll eventually catch up.
Perhaps. Entirely possible. So I figured we'd bridge into talking about Dynasty, just kind of running down the card and what happened directly after Dynasty. Before we move on to the big topic, the thumbnail topic, WrestleMania.
Sounds good.
Fantastic. Ignoring most of the pre-show, Megan Bayne and Lena Cross, last pay-per-view, beat the Babes of Wrath for the tag team titles. They defended them against some ladies. How do you feel about this championship change?
Well, I don't know who those new people are.
No,
so I have no investment in them. I have some investment in Megan Bayne.
Lena Cross is even relatively new.
Yeah, that's exactly my point. So I guess good for Megan Bayne. The Babes of Wrath had done fine work with their inaugural run, but I didn't want their inaugural run to be super long anyway.
One of the worst things that Roman's title reign has done to modern wrestling is that everyone wants every title reign to last forever.
Yeah, no, look, Journey of Wrestling has the rules it has for a reason. About 3 months. About 3 months is solid and real, and after that, do what you want.
Yeah, you want to put some shine on a guy, let it last a little longer. You want to move on to somebody else, that's okay. 3 months is fine. Sometimes you go below that just to keep things dynamic.
Yeah, like less than a month is where it starts to feel shitty.
There was a Young Bucks versus Don Callis family match. It was just an excuse to put more heat on Okada versus Takeshita.
Oh God, can we? You know what? Now that I'm not in this relationship, I won't call it an abusive one anymore. For now, look, I love long-term storytelling as much as the next guy, but shit or get off the pot.
Yeah, I don't know why, unless they're going to Wembley, this is taking so long. One highlight from that match is when Okada put on one of the Young Bucks ring gear, their entrance gear.
This is fantastic. This is amazing.
Yeah, and begged for the tag from the other Young Buck to mock him.
That's perfect. I love that.
Yeah, spectacular.
Okada, as always, is a king.
Yes. So Ricochet beat the returning Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho came back to AEW as a babyface, signed a new contract, got in a feud with Ricochet, and Ricochet went over.
As I understand it, he did like a "I'm sorry I was a real prick before" promo.
Mm-hmm. He brought back the list.
You play the hits. I'm really stunned he's not in WWE right now. I'm really stunned he's not going to go get his ring.
Yeah, me too. In some foreshadowing for something we'll talk about in a moment, Darby Allin beat Andrade El Idolo in a match for the AEW World Championship, the next contender.
Like the number one contenders match.
The returning Cope and Cage actually lost to FTR over the tag titles.
Once again, shit or get off the pot.
I really expected to just come back and win, and this seems like a misstep that they didn't.
This is a misstep. Guys, we get where you're going with this. You're not fooling anyone. Just do it. Just do the thing everybody wants to see. Just do it. It's fine. We swear, nobody's gonna call you mean names about it. Just do the thing.
I mean, everyone will. It's the IWC, but
I won't.
Yeah, you're safe from us. I think both of us wanted Tommaso Ciampa to win the gauntlet match, the Casino Gauntlet match for the TNT Championship, because
he was robbed. Yeah.
Yeah, and what's his name? Kyle Fletcher got injured. Karma finally coming back for Kyle Fletcher, so he had to vacate it.
Live by the sword, die by the sword.
However, Kevin Knight won. And I think that's, if not Ciampa, that's the next best choice.
I mean, that's good. Kevin Knight is cool and good, and this is a good title for him.
Yeah.
Because this helps him get more singles push, which he was, I like Jet Speed as much as the next guy, but that's not what he showed up here to do.
No. And he's been added to the conversation for the world title in the last week.
That's good. I want that.
That is to say, Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, I want that more. That's Tommaso Ciampa coming in, having a very, a 1 day or whatever TNT title run. And then that going immediately, oh, you're way too cool for this. We're going to bring you up to the actual title. That's fine. That makes that feel better.
We have Tekla retaining against Jamie Hayter. I like Tekla. She's a little cheesy, but
I'm not a huge fan of her promos. I don't hate them, but they're a little pat. They're a little. She's not The Rock, but she's trying to do The Rock shtick of have a catchphrase.
Well, it was the 90s. Everybody had catchphrases back then, and the aughts for that matter.
Yeah, but she's not. Hers isn't great.
It doesn't bug me, but it's different strokes for different folks. Speaking of, Jon Moxley defended his AEW Continental Championship against Will Ospreay, and I think they might be heel again.
I don't care. That's the price Jon Moxley gets to pay for breaking my heart. I no longer give a shit about this whole gimmick. When the Death Riders are over and have been off my TV for long enough that I feel that I'm not bitter anymore, I will give Jon Moxley any of my attention. Until then, I don't care. I don't care.
I don't blame you. I haven't liked him in a while, since obviously the Death Riders are falling off. But we've talked about that before on previous pay-per-view podcasts. It might be a new world and a new style of podcast, but for now, the old ones are still right there where they always are for you to see or hear.
That for now is ominous.
Okay, so I'm gonna show you how the sausage is made a little bit. The fact that we have such a low view count on so many episodes overall makes our channel less attractive to the YouTube algorithm. So occasionally I'll go back and kill some of my darlings. Well, actually, I'll kill the least loved of the former podcasts that both didn't get a lot of views and I don't think are important for the overall integrity of the channel. I still have backups of them, so they still exist somewhere.
That's good. I want those.
Yeah, so maybe someday I'll put them up on the channel you get if you're on our Patreon, where all the classic stuff is. But, you know, we'll see. It's mostly... Well, nobody liked that content in the first place.
Yeah, why leave it? Yeah. Why leave it up?
Why leave it up? So there's not like a purge coming. It's just...
Why poison the algorithm and prevent new people from coming to join the trash pile?
I'm not trying to make a career out of specifically our YouTube channel, but, like, if I'm here, I might as well, like, try.
Right?
Just a token effort. Anyhow, the collision before Dynasty... the Dogs, that is to say David Finlay, Clark Connors, and Gabe Kidd.
Bad name. War Dogs was a good name. I understand that's New Japan. Figure something out. Don't call them the Dogs. That's worse than Cerberus. It's not as bad as Anthony Bowen's thing, but it's not good.
Warwolves.
Sure, that's fine.
I think it's pretty bad, but I like it.
Well, because it kind of sounds like werewolf.
Yeah. Plus, you'll piss off John Moxley. No, I'm sorry. He has nothing to do with that. He keeps making allusions that the Death Riders are wolves, which is a different creature.
They aren't. They're coyotes.
Oh, true.
He was very clear. They're tiny and shittier.
We're like wolves, but not as good as wolves.
And they don't hang. And they're not a good family unit.
We're a bad team.
And we're shitty and tiny. That's what I want you to take away from this.
Anyway, the Dogs then put their trios titles the next day up against the conglomeration that is Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, and I believe a returning Kyle O'Reilly. After the Dogs peed on and fucked their couch, literally, the conglomeration then beat them for the titles.
That's bad. Just so you guys know, just have it be the previous team.
The AEW Trios Championships have not been good.
It's trash. Look, on the Discord, I will clown on the TNT title for not being very well booked. That is because there is still something to clown on. The Trios titles are they're a dumpster fire. They have not been booked well since the House of Black had them.
And even that wasn't great.
But it was good.
They at least used half their ass. They would put on the lights and they'd be like, it's a house rules match. Oh, I forgot to pick a stip. Okay.
That should never have happened.
No! It happened like 2 or 3 times.
No one, come on. But that is truly the peak of the Trios titles. That should tell you something.
The peak was the best of 7.
Yeah, that's fair.
That was sensational.
That's fair.
Anyway. Our main event was MJF, I think in a surprise to no one, beating Kenny Omega to retain the AEW World Championship.
Yeah, I mean, after he, beat Hanger and declared himself better than Terry Funk and made it so Hanger can never challenge for the AEW title again, wouldn't it be fucking stupid if they had him drop it before Wembley on some random nothing match? Wouldn't that be very, 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 very stupid? So what happened after Dynasty?
Yeah, the Dynamite following Dynasty, Sunday to Wednesday, my dudes. Darby Allin cashes in his title shot, and Max is like, I'm not ready though. Which I think is good storytelling. Honestly, I think as far as Max and Darby go, this entire setup was good storytelling because Max is a guy who loves to put hurdles in front of you and loves to take as much time as possible to defend his title. He is the Batman of wrestling defenses. If you give him prep time,
he'll win.
He'll most likely win. Darby was like, no prep time. I'm fighting you now. Tony Khan said it's going to work. I have to give you until the end of the show. That's the delay you get. And it wasn't enough. Darby squashed him and won the AEW World title.
With a headlock takeover.
Which is more spectacular storytelling. Max has been crashing out afterward, which is more spectacular storytelling within those specific parentheses.
I will say, all right, this is good storytelling and terrible booking.
It makes me ask a lot of questions. I don't know that I'm ready to say this is terrible booking, but I do agree with you saying, what What about what this does to what happened with Hanger? What does that mean now? What's the value?
What did we get out of it?
Yeah.
Why are we doing this? What happened?
And I speculated that maybe Max got hurt with Kenny, and that's why it was such a short match. There was some speculation after that he was going to go film a movie, but the current report, as of time of recording, is that no, this was always the plan, and Max is going to be around for the foreseeable.
Yeah, bad booking. Great storytelling. A great climax to a multi-year, since we've been watching AEW and before actually, feud between Darby and MJF specifically, the two of the pillars, as it were, and excellent storytelling. It being a squash is funny. Max isn't really the kind of guy who loses anything from it being a squash.
No, because he's a heel. So his secret power is that when you beat him, he only becomes stronger.
Yeah. So it's just terrible booking. It's just terrible booking is all. It's good storytelling. Doing this at Wembley would have been fine.
Yeah, but everyone wants Will Ospreay to win at Wembley.
Yes, I also want that. But not from Darby.
Right. That raises the question of what is happening from here to Wembley. Is Darby going to have a short reign?
Yes, probably.
And is that helpful?
No. That's why it's not good booking.
Yeah.
It just causes you more problems down the line. In any wrestling fed, there is a balance to strike between booking and storytelling. You missed.
Anything more you'd like to say about AEW and how it's been since we departed on this raft?
No, I'm tired of crashing out about something I care about. Let's clown on something I don't care about.
Let's crash out about something we don't care about.
No, I'm just going to be mocking this.
So I did actually catch an episode of Monday Night Raw, a full episode, a couple of months ago, when Penta won the Intercontinental Championship. He's what amounts to my favorite wrestler at the moment. So I'd really like to see his victories. And I have a really soft spot for the Intercontinental title. I've never been a world title guy. Either they put people in the world title scene that I don't care about, or when someone I care about gets elevated to the world title scene, they often become something I don't care about. So I've always held the Intercontinental in higher regard, even though I understand the world title's a bigger prize. So I did want to see this moment for him. My God, all the ads. So many ads. I don't put more ads on the ring and the wrestlers. I don't care about that if it means there are fewer commercials.
The AI commercials where they were putting the food that I think it was like DoorDash.
Do you think that was AI?
Or someone taking a lot of time to like hand animate 2D animation on just balance of probability.
I don't know.
But the commercials, the DoorDash commercials where they were adding on like cartoon food to the wrestling, those were funny. Those were actually funny.
Those were as good as the show.
Yes. Honestly, maybe a little better.
I don't really have anything to say about that Raw other than I was happy for Penta.
But time to talk about WrestleMania?
Yeah, we're going to talk about WrestleMania 42. You don't have as much info on the build-up for this, so I'll try to provide context if you want it.
I have exactly none, and I don't care.
Awesome.
Don't feel the need. If you want to, go ahead.
There's a couple of things that I think should be mentioned, but otherwise I'm just going to run down the card like I did last time. The Usos and LA Knight beat The Vision, which is to say Logan Paul and Austin Theory, and I Show Speed. Which if I don't care how famous I am, that would not be my name in the first place, and if I became a professional wrestler, I don't think I'd be called that.
Well, it's branding at this point.
I guess. It's just not...
He started streaming when he was like 18.
Yeah.
So it was just his internet handle, as I understand it.
Well, at 18, I think I still would have been White Raven by then. And I was the first.
Oh, look, I sit on a throne of cringe. I can criticize no one's internet handle.
Well, like, at least it's not, possession of muscles, parentheses, me.
No, he is fast, though.
I don't know that I believe any of that. Jacob Fatu beat Drew McIntyre in an unsanctioned match. As I understand, was pretty cool. Brie Bella and replacing Nikki Bella, who was injured, Paige returning at WrestleMania.
Hey, good for you, I guess, if that's where you want to be.
Beat the Irresistible Forces and Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair and Bayley and Lyra Valkyria to win the Women's Tag Team Championships.
This is such a weird mix of names I have known for 15 years, and people I have no idea who the fuck that is.
Lash Legend's cool. Becky Lynch beat AJ Lee to regain the Intercontinental Championship, the Women's Intercontinental Championship.
Good for Becky.
Yeah. Gunther defeated Seth Rollins by submission in the singles match. Seth Rollins almost didn't make it to WrestleMania. The entirety of the Vision, except for Logan Paul and Austin Theory, got injured in succession.
Oof.
Liv Morgan beat Stephanie Vaquer by pinfall to become the Women's World Champion. Cody Rhodes in the worst storyline I've seen in a long time.
Really?
Yes.
Is this the one where Pat McAfee showed up?
Yeah, Randy Orton had this mystery caller. That's who Cody beat. Who is like giving him advice, and he's like, I'm going to be in your corner kind of stuff. And, who is the mystery caller? They had some other ideas, but the last moment management, not Triple H, the management above Triple H, decided it had to be Pat McAfee. And everyone hated that.
Well, because that's stupid.
Yes, it is. People... Mostly, like, there's, mixed feelings on Pat McAfee, like you have for any commentator, but the fact that...
I don't have anything against Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
That's just stupid for him being... How is Pat McAfee giving Randy Orton pro wrestling advice?
When he comes out and he cuts this promo of, like, wrestling today sucks, it should be like it was in the Attitude Era, and then he lists a bunch of ruthless aggression tropes. He also starts complaining about the 45-minute Iron Man matches on every Raw between two cruiserweights, which aren't real.
That's just... You're just hallucinating. Are you okay? Do we need to have someone do you need help?
So the rest of the build since then has been everyone, even Cody, going, hey man, this storyline sucks.
Because it does. Look, even as someone who's finding out about most of this right now, Pat McAfee giving Randy Orton wrestling advice is like me giving Randy Orton wrestling advice. We have the same level of experience in pro wrestling.
You, but not me. I used to control Randy Orton's actions with my thoughts.
Yeah, I use me specifically.
I don't know if that's still on the old podcasts. The brief version is I kept saying things like, now do this, Randy. And it was like out of left field, and then he would do it.
Like, all right, now kick the stairs. And then he did.
Yeah, it was that level of, I have power here. I think Cody retaining the title was the best call here because Randy doesn't need it. Although they were potentially going to give it to him for a while.
Randy Orton doesn't need another title reign.
As much as I'm happy to see, I would be happy to see Cody Rhodes lose the title and then not immediately get the title back. Not Randy Orton. It seems like they might be doing another match, though, because they, teased a double turn a couple times, and then Randy RKO'd Pat McAfee and just went super heel. And, the RKOing of Pat McAfee was a babyface thing, but then he, went super heel after the match and beat up Cody Rhodes and stole his title and held it really high. Night 2. In contrast, I think a lot of the booking in Night 2 was really solid. First of all, we open with Obafemi beating Brock Lesnar, who then leaves his boots, gloves, and pads in the ring.
Beating him under 5 minutes, by the way.
And looking good doing it. This was something Brock Lesnar had wanted to do. He wanted to pass the torch to Obafemi specifically. Paul Heyman apparently was the producer for this match, so he decided the steps of it. Rumor mill has it that Brock will be retiring at SummerSlam in Minnesota, so he's not actually retired yet. For your information and anyone else out there who doesn't follow WWE, Gunther has been retiring wrestlers lately, and Paul Heyman owes him a favor.
So Gunther will be killing Brock Lesnar.
That's the current theory.
Well, he killed John Cena, so that's two for two.
I think there was another one he retired not too long ago. AJ Styles, maybe?
It's been since Randy Orton, and Randy Orton didn't do nearly as much of that as we like to remember. So that's a cool gimmick for a guy to have, and somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
The boots thing hasn't been real ever.
No, unfortunately. I like to put credence behind it because it's such a symbolic gesture, but it's all that is. But it was a good passing of the torch, regardless of your feelings about Brock Lesnar, and I have a lot of them that aren't positive.
Same, but there will always be Moon.
There will always... no, because now there is no more Moon.
Exactly.
we had a 6-pack ladder match with Rey Mysterio, Rusev, JD McDonough, Dragon Lee, Javon Evans, and the winner, Penta, retaining his Intercontinental Championship.
Bet you that ripped, actually. Man, that was probably cool.
Sami Zayn lost his United States title against Trick Williams, who was played down to the ring and accompanied by Lil Yachty, who is a sailor, I'm gathering.
Sure, bud.
Sure. Another good booking moment. The Demon Finn Balor was advertised and resurrected, and he beat Dominic Mysterio.
Wow, it's been since he was put in a dress or whatever. Since
no, they didn't end up doing that, but yeah,
it's been since they completely buried the demon.
Yeah,
and that was what I want to say in the mid 2010s.
No, I think it was in the early 2020s, maybe even 2020. It might have been 2019 before everything went to shit. Rhea Ripley beat Jade Cargill.
That's a whole different ball of wax.
To win the women's championship. There's 2 women's championships, women's and women's world. Same thing as their men's. They have too many fucking titles. Oh my god,
stop it. No, you don't care. Their booking is stupid. You're not invested. Don't crash out. Continue.
And Roman Reigns beat CM Punk for the title in what I understand was a big match. And afterward he said, whether this is true or not, we've had a history of WWE wrestlers saying all this shit. He said that he was going to try his best to be there every week and not be a part-time champion. So that's pretty good. They had a pretty good feud, all things considered. Do you have any thoughts about WrestleMania as a whole, my dude?
It's a mixed bag. Some of this is interesting enough that if I could trust them, I would be interested.
Sure. I think this is probably night 2 specifically is probably the best event they've had in a while. I don't follow them directly, but I do. I keep up with wrestling news, and of course it's the most popular thing, so everybody talks about WWE. Anything else we want to talk about with wrestling before we move on to our next segment?
I don't think so.
All right, then. We have a couple of questions we're going to take from the mailbag. We're now doing this like Chugs and Evil Uno, in that we're just doing a couple of questions.
That's right. We're not just stealing your mail. We're stealing your format.
If we find other questions from other shows or anything, or if you guys want to pop on our Discord and ask us stuff, we'll be happy to answer on the show, within reason. So,
what is your social security number, your address, your IP address?
He asked, I gotta give it to him. Kyle asks a popular question. If you could live in a video game world, what world would it be?
One of the Star Trek ones. Fucking, what am I, stupid? I'm gonna go to the Utopia.
Yeah, he's got a point. I didn't quite have an answer, but anything I was trying to formulate just got shot out of my head by the reality of what you just said.
I'm not the Master Chief, man. If I go to the Halo universe, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna get killed by a grunt. If I go to Fallout, I'm just gonna die. There's gonna be clicking, and then I'm gonna die. If I want to live in a fictional universe, I'm gonna go to one that's great, actually, for everybody except the people who go into the ships and then go do the dangerous stuff. If you live on Earth, outside shot, you die in some sort of multiversal explosion that destroys every warp core because some kid cried. But that happens so rarely. It has happened at least once. New Trek is stupid, and doesn't understand the premise of the series. But generally speaking, you're probably going to be okay. You're probably going to live in a post-scarcity utopia where you can just kind of grow grapes or whatever.
I haven't watched any of the new Trek because I'm not a huge Trek fan. However, I have learned in the last 2 years that I can no longer trust what people say online about something.
I have not watched it. Maybe it's really peak. That sounds dumb. I'll put it like that.
It sure does sound dumb. I agree. But you know what? People also say that the Clone Wars cartoon is good, and that introduced the concept of the mommy and the daddy of the Force.
I swear some of the show is good. I swear. That I'm not here to defend that though. Moving on.
Yeah. I can't think of, I want to have something pithy, but yeah, Utopia sounds nice, and we got holodecks and shit. That sounds cool. I'll take that one. Keith. Hey, Keith. He wants to know, have you played a video game where you end up siding with the main antagonist over the protagonist?
I gotta imagine I have done so. I gotta imagine there's been at least one time where I've gone, no, he's right, you guys suck.
It's, there are a lot of times where I've had the reaction of, you are correct, but you're doing it like an asshole for no reason.
Yeah, Marvel villains tend to have that.
Absolutely. And the game I will cite for this is Metaphor ReFantasio. Everything the villain is saying does sound like a nice world, but he's going to do a genocide about it. And that's not the path to reach. What your goal is beautiful, but you are taking the fucked upidest route to get there.
Cool motive, still murder,
right?
As the meme goes.
Do you have any specific examples you can think of off the top of your head?
I guess. I mean, y'all. No, not because like Skyrim, the Stormcloaks have like more riz and aura, but they're dumb. They're dumb and they don't understand what logistics is.
Also, pretty racist.
Yeah, they're pretty racist also. But like it's the Elder Scrolls universe. Everyone's really racist.
At something. It's just about who you've decided to be racist at. All right, and our final question, Ryan wants to know what video game accessory that you considered so cool as a kid might not be relevant to you as an adult.
I don't know that there was now that you're saying it, I don't know that there was like a video game accessory that I thought was really cool.
I wanted a Power Glove so bad. I still want one, but not
But for different reasons.
But even like, you know, in terms of something that was actually functional, I don't care about turbo on a controller. I don't care.
I've never given a shit about that in my whole life.
When I was a kid, I was like, oh yeah, now I can fire all this. It didn't take me but like less than a year of playing with one to go, I am cheating myself out of gameplay. I've just enabled ultra easy mode. This is stupid.
Yeah, I just don't like as an adult, there are some video game peripherals that I think are really cool that I don't have because it's just not, I don't have that console or it's a lot of money for something that'll probably end up collecting dust on a shelf.
Sure.
But that's usually the biggest thing. But as a kid, it's just controller. You know what? I will say I liked the Duke. The big, fat, chunky Xbox controller from the original Xbox.
They call it the Duke?
That's the name of that controller, is the Duke.
Fuck. You can learn things on this podcast.
I like the Duke. I like that shit. That was, as a kid, that felt like I had power.
I don't have big hands. You do have kind of
I have giant fucking mitts, you guys. You don't understand.
I also liked the size and shape of that controller. What I didn't like is that if you dropped it on the ground, it would explode into sand.
Yeah, it was not.
It was made of glass.
It was heavy and it felt sturdy, and that was a lie.
Those are our questions. Again, if you guys want to ask us anything in specific, so we don't have to steal from someone else, head on over to our Discord, or you can leave a comment on the video saying, "Hey, question for you guys." Either way, let us know how you feel about the new format. Before we go, we do need to shout out our patrons. I've moved them to the end for algorithmic reasons, but until there gets just too damn many of you, I do still feel it's important to thank you with my voice. So I do want to thank, of course, first and foremost, our Trash Elite, Rob and a guy from Ohio, and then Passion Killer 711, Drew City KTL, DG, Kitty Holbrook, and Drake Starstorm.
All right, well, that's about it. Thank you. Good night. Good luck.